got the Type 7B in Wilhelmshaven again, and it's last few days of 1939. I did just complete the tonnage war mission, so I've got a blueprint and can upgrade to the 7C, but I think I'd like to take out this 7B one last time before I make that transition. And I've been playing these missions. I've been playing them not so much to maximize tonnage, but more to kind of maximize crew experience. So I did manage to upgrade to 7 crew. I did the recovery of the Enigma mission, and that gave me Dr. Prine here, so that gave me the extra radio officer. Maintained. And then I was able to pick up Koenig, who is he's a mechanic. So I basically got my 2 engineers, I've got my 2 radio officers, and I've got now my my mechanic who's maintaining the torpedoes. And one thing I wanted to maybe show you on the setup of scheduling and tasks. This is just the standard setup for the mechanic. But one thing I found that works extremely well with keeping the torpedoes warm is to leave your mechanic just on the gray setting. And basically what that does is if there's any torpedo that needs to be warmed up, he's right on it, and he basically rests otherwise. And so he's either loading torpedoes or keeping them maintained, and it just seems like I'd maybe encourage you to give that a try if you don't already have your mechanic on all gray like that. But what I was finding was when I tried to put them on, put him on some sort of schedule, inevitably I'd be in a situation where I need the torpedoes, they need to be warmed up, and he just wasn't ready to go, and it was getting a little aggravating. But I actually left this unassigned by accident, and it turned out it just works great. So maybe give that a try. And then when I brought on my radio officer, when I had one, I had him on 3-hour shifts to match my my boat dive schedule. But now that I've got now that I've got 2 of them, I went ahead and put him on 6-hour shifts. So that's really the only difference here. And then on the squad side, I've got 2 assigned to Koenig, who's doing the torpedo maintenance, and then we've got 1 each to our radio officer, and the rest all assigned here. And it seems to be working pretty well, and that's still, I'm only assigning 7 out of 8, and he's doing a great job keeping the torpedoes up for me, so that's all good. So let's
you need, officer.
Let's real quick check supplies, make sure I've got enough torpedoes.
Take a look.
All right. And I think I'm more inclined to pick up the breathing apparatus. These things wear out so fast. Although with the bugs that I encounter in our, when we're trying to repair things, it's really a not fun part of the game. And the thing is, it could be fun. It could be fun to be sitting down at the bottom trying to repair things, but I find that more often than not, I'm just totally frustrated by the bugs that are there. I don't think the damage control part of the game is being played enough, and people just aren't vetting it and sending in bug reports. I try to send in bug reports, but I'm finding things, just such annoying things that it's almost to the point where if I have one flooded compartment, I might as well just quit the game and start over and just accept that I'm dead, because you go and you try to do something like repair a bulkhead, and your crewmate or your officer that you're assigned to do it, he ends up phasing through the wall and ends up going. He does the repair work on the flooded side. Somehow he gets locked in there on the flooded side doing the work instead of doing the repair work on the unflooded side. And then he passes out because he's probably not wearing any sort of a breathing apparatus, because you thought he was on the unflooded side and didn't need one. Then you figure, well, let's see if we can send somebody in there to save him. And you send somebody in there, they phase through the wall, pick him up, and then they can't drag him through because the door is broken. So it's, and you have, you know, legs and arms phasing through walls and glitched, and it's just, it's so aggravating. It's almost like you take damage, you end up on the bottom, and you almost quit the game right there. But anyway, enough.
You need, officer.
Enough of that. I think we've got everything we need. Did we get?
Take a look.
Did we get fuel? I think we're otherwise good. So let's go ahead and get a mission.
I serve as the liaison officer, relaying orders directly from the Admiral.
I usually favor
How may I
missions where I
assist you
can
today,
pick up
Captain?
extra officers, so we'll see what they've got today.
These are current orders from the headquarters. Your eyes only.
Oh, look at that. We could attack Scapa Flow. Haven't had that opportunity yet. That's such an easy mission, but I think I want the bullseye, so I guess we'll take that one. Usually only one patrol vessel in there, and the AI is not very good. See what we can do to get in and get out of there
Half ahead. Set a course
as quick
to
as
these
we can.
coordinates.
Looks like I've got some cleanup here from the last patrol.
I never thought I'd be a part of a mission like this. We're entering a wasp nest. Torpedo and tube 1 maintained.
Yeah, it's a wasp nest with
Torpedo
only
and
one
tube
wasp,
3
but
maintained.
we'll see.
Change course. Full ahead.
Would be nice if they added in the right model for the battleship. The Royal Oak wasn't a Nelson class. But
Change course.
I'm patient. We'll wait. I'm hopeful they'll add a Revenge class and replace that one soon. The depth of the harbor at Scapa Flow is also way too shallow. It's probably about half as deep as it needs to be. The real Royal Oak sits, I think, in about 100-ish meters depth and has at least 20 or 30 meters above the, you know, it was fully submerged. In this game, you sink that Nelson battleship that's supposed to be the Royal Oak, and the superstructure. I think it even has one turret that sits out of the water. It could be like a...
We've been notified by a nearby U-boat of a probable target in the area.
I think we're going to skip the targets until we're on our way back, maybe. Unless something is...
Set a course to these coordinates.
Unless something's right in our path.
We've been notified by a nearby U-boat of a probable target in the area.
AN 584, southwest and slow. Let's look and see where that one is.
Torpedo and tube 4 maintained.
What are your orders, Captain?
Oops, that isn't it. AN 584. Yeah, we're not. We're gonna stay on track for our mission.
Target position reached.
Yeah, let's just make sure we've got
Consider it done, sir.
diesel compressor on.
Change course.
Another U-boat has just reported a possible target within our range.
I know that in real life,
Set a course to these coordinates.
praying the commander, I think he took basically he took a northern approach here and was able to sneak over eventually we're going to get to a point where we're going to run into a subnet.
Approaching Scapa Flow. Command's plan assumes entering
And
through
what
the
Prine
eastern
did
passage. According to our intelligence, the other passage
is he waited till high tide and was able to find a spot close to the shore where he was able to come over top of the net. So I haven't found that I've been able to do that. It
You're in
seems
shallow
like
waters, Captain.
we always run into the net here. But what we'll do is we'll let the sub run into the net and then we'll mark it. Yep, there it is. Oh, look at that, it made it over. That was pretty amazing. I'm not sure how we did that. Oh, we weren't submerged, that's how we did it.
Set a course to these
Yeah, usually I
coordinates.
come in submerged. Oh well. That's alright. Like I said, this
Torpedo in tube
this
1
patrol is so
maintained.
simple.
Torpedo in tube 2 maintained.
It's kind of
You're
hard
in
not to
shallow waters, Captain.
hard to screw this
Torpedo
one
in
up.
Tube 4 maintained.
I mean, I went all the way in there,
Change course.
never being submerged. It's night. Let's see what it looks like outside.
Affirmative. Battleship. 0
that-
degrees.
The Royal Oak?
Alarm.
Captain,
Take your
the man
position.
would definitely want us to
It's go
target.
time, boys.
I mean, it's kind of funny. I came in here and I never even submerged.
Flood tube 1. Flood tube 2. Flood tube 3.
Tube 1 flooded. Tube 2 flooded. Tube 3 flooded.
Might as well just go ahead and do a surface Uzo attack here, and we'll go to salvo. That's 124. Do we have a 123? It's a 124. Our speed is a 0. And nothing else really matters on this setting except distance will control the spread a little bit. So let's make sure that we're at a close range. Slow down a little
Dead
bit.
slow ahead. Flood tube 4.
Tube 4 flooded.
So we got a 124.
Torpedo in Tube 5 maintained.
And let's just let those go, I
Fire.
guess.
Seconds to impact.
I can follow one of these, I guess. Follow the T2, that one doesn't have a trail.
30 seconds. Seconds.
One. Well, we got 3 good hits on it. See if that manages to put it under.
Affirmative.
I think I'm gonna turn us
Rudder hard to starboard.
to the starboard. We'll throw a couple torpedoes at the Pegasus. And look at that, we're already
Yes!
reloading.
Royal Oak sunk. It's unbelievable.
Well, that's
The
good.
ship is sinking.
Now, Let's focus on making it out of here alive. Well done. That was a brilliant shot. Let's see if we can get another one.
Flood tube 3.
Tube 3 flooded.
Sometimes the Royal Oak, well, I mean this Nelson class, it doesn't score sunk that quickly.
Affirmative.
Message received.
I wonder if they changed that something in there so that it would it'd register sunk, because this is the problem with the harbor here, is I think that's probably resting on the bottom right now. Yeah, pretty much. It is nice how they did the they've got the thing now for the where it looks like holes where the torpedoes hit. I guess it's putting an alpha channel on the explosion spot instead of black, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, where am I? We're still turning. Let's go this way. Get a shot at the Pegasus here. There it is.
Aircraft carrier. 305 degrees. Course 1.
I guess we can send our Royal Oak sunk message.
Report sent.
I don't even know if I need to
Flood
load.
tube 1.
Don't necessarily need to wait till they load, I guess, or warm up rather.
Tube 1 flooded.
Tube 2 loaded.
Flood tube 2.
Maybe we'll do a 1-3 salvo.
Tube 2 flood.
As long as I don't have the check mark on this one, that one won't fire. So we'll just leave it flooded and test that.
Fire. Torpedo was a dud. 40 seconds to impact.
It immediately reported a dud torpedo.
30 seconds.
Go ahead and fire
20
this one.
seconds.
Let's see where the impact. We'll try to spread the damage a little bit.
10 seconds to impact. It's a miss.
How did we miss? Is that 0? Oh,
Serious
yeah.
damage.
Naturally, it had the wrong. It had the wrong.
Tube 4 loaded.
Fire. Flood tube 4.
Just had the wrong distance in there, which is fine. Maybe we'll put one here toward the back.
40 seconds to impact.
Tube 4 flooded.
Fire. 30 seconds.
I think we can start turning.
40 seconds to impact. Rudder hard to starboard. 20 seconds. Faster. Faster. 30 seconds.
This would be interesting if I could do the entire Scapa
10
Flow
seconds
mission
to
and never
impact.
once submerge.
20 seconds. Fire on board. Serious damage. 10 seconds to impact. The ship is sinking.
There we
We've
go.
proven once again that we're a force to be reckoned with. Great work, everyone.
Boy, lifted the whole hull up. I think it breaks right there. Alright, let's see if we can get back out of here.
Faster! Faster!
We'll exit at the highest possible speed.
Report sent.
Little corvettes can't really move fast enough to catch us. You only got to watch out for the destroyers. Typically, they only got one destroyer defending this mission.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Not even sure where they are.
Night lights. Alarm canceled.
Tube 1 loaded.
Maybe see if I can get a bead on
Affirmative.
where the destroyer might be. Probably over there. Yeah, he's in kind of a useless position. Not even cruising in the right direction, so far I guess he has no earthly idea where I am. So moving at flank is probably wise. See how long he stays that far out.
Tube 2 loaded.
Gotta be careful on Excel time.
Affirmative.
You can end up being sunk. Well, that's a good sign.
Tube 3 loaded.
Way back there.
Affirmative.
One thing we can do to counter this wave action is leave the Uzo. And where is he? Where's that red sky at? Oh, I've lost it. But anyway, you leave the Uzo and use the just use the B for binoculars. And you can see the binoculars are a far more stable view. And I wish there was just an option that you could order your commander to just use the binoculars instead of having to go to the Uzo and get out of it like this. But it makes perfect sense that the binoculars should be stabilized because you're holding on to them. And you know your sea legs are causing this yourself to stabilize it, so it makes sense that binoculars. I don't view that as a bug. I view it as that should be correct. And again, looks like they're sailing entirely in the wrong direction, which is good news for us. So I'm just going to continue at flank. And hopefully I can get past that net.
Tube 4 loaded.
That was the net that I stuck on there. I think I went in and did that. I did that entire mission and never even submerged.
Change course.
And now I'm at flank doing 18 to 20. Nobody's going to catch me.
Great work, Captain. We've dealt a major blow to the enemy. Report sent.
10 seconds to impact. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 seconds. 0 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 seconds. 1 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 seconds
Well, might as well complete it. Get the buff for the next mission. With the bullseye skill. And another crew boost on XP, so let's see what
I'm ready
Prime
for your
got.
orders.
What to give him? I've become hesitant to take sensitive hearing because I don't seem to have any difficulty whatsoever locating things. I only took propeller recognition so that I could have the bearing display. And since it was a Dr. Prine, I thought that it was logical to take the paramedic skill first, so I might just do radio usage.
What do you need, officer?
Oh, I just saw somebody level up.
Take a look.
That should be pretty good. I'm not even going to count that mission.
We're all proud of your sinking the Royal Oak, Captain. It was the Royal Navy's jewel. That's incredible work.
That was embarrassingly easy.
These are current orders from the headquarters. Your eyes only.
Torpedo and 1 maintained.
See if there's any options for, oh yeah, there is. There's I could pick up an engineering officer here. I think I want the officer. And we might have some points to spend. What to work on? I don't really find that I need any better of a hydrophone. The improved toilets might help with max depth. Decoys might be helpful, but I'm wondering... The armored conning towers, I think, are interesting to me. I think it's only because I want to try out like a flak boat.
Torpedo and tube 2 maintained.
That'll take twice more time. Twice more time. Twice more time. about this one? Everything will take twice more time, so... Accumulators is just a boost on your battery. I don't seem to have a problem running out of batteries, so maybe we'll go with the armored tower. And I've got enough points. Maybe we'll go for the better torpedo. Oh, it needs 4. I've only got 3. Toilets.
Torpedo in tube 3 maintained.
All right,
Half ahead.
let's head out. Of course, the most direct approach would be through the English Channel.
Set a course to these coordinates. Change course.
I guess we could
Torpedo
try
in
the
tube
channel.
4 maintained.
A lot of times I'll avoid the channel just for the
Change course.
headache of running into ships. And for where I'm going, it wouldn't be that much. I mean, it's a little out of the way, but not that much. Coming from the north.
Another U-boat has just reported a possible target within our ring.
I think I'm gonna try to avoid chasing stuff until
Set a course to these coordinates. Change course.
We've been notified by a friendly vessel of a possible target within our vicinity.
convoy. Until the convoy and the convoy AI and mechanics and damage control, until that stuff gets addressed and the bugs in that gets addressed with the gameplay, I'm kind of avoiding convoys. They're just not fun. You sail into it, 20 of the things, and I'm already putting it on the lowest setting for number of ships, and it's just not fun to be chased by 5 or 6 destroyers every single time. And really they have unusually good detection and can find you and kill you without, in situations where it seems like they just shouldn't have the ability to do so. So as a result, it's more of a cat and mouse game that I'm playing, where I go out and I try to avoid the ASW patrols, find the lone ship, or maybe pick off 1 or 2 in a convoy and get out as quick as I can. So they've changed my square. So let's see where they've got me now. Oh, that was nice of them.
Set a course to
Don't have
these
to go through the
coordinates.
channel, I guess.
We've been notified by a friendly vessel of a possible target within our vicinity.
Let's just get into the patrol zone first, and then we can hunt for these things. AN 575, medium speed, northern course. AN 575. What else do we have?
Torpedo in tube 2 maintained.
get all these out of my way. I think I'm going to wait till I get to the patrol area and maybe try to hunt with the hydrophone a little bit. Not worried about discipline. It'll help us find the weak in the crew to dismiss. I've got a specialization point. I can't even assign it yet because I haven't been able to identify any seawolves.
We've been notified by a nearby U-boat of a probable target in the area.
Torpedo in Tube 1 maintained. Patrol area reached.
Report sent.
Change course.
Oh, let's go on dive schedule.
Periscope depth.
Captain, we're periscope depth, ready for surface observations.
Captain, we've risen to the surface.
We've been notified by a friendly vessel of a possible target within our vicinity.
I think I want to find them with the hydrophone. Practice that approach. Maybe after we get a hydrophone contact and a kill, then we'll chase after some of these radio contacts.
Captain, we've risen to the surface.
Change course.
Captain, we're at periscope depth,
All
ready
right.
for surface observation.
Ship propeller bearing 121. So it's down this way. Something we go right at it and just make a determination on its direction. It's got two, one at 85 and 18. So the one at 18 is out in front of me. So we do have two possible targets. Let's get straight. So one dead ahead and one at 67, so there's one down here. This is where it would be cool if this hydrophone ring,
Torpedo in Tube
if it
2
actually had the
maintained.
bearing markers on it like that, because then I wouldn't have to go through this extra step of putting out this, drawing this stupid thing. I could just draw a bearing, draw my bearing line out to the outer ring of the hydrophone, which is kind of what I want to do anyway. Maybe I can go in and mod that. So instead of it just saying hydrophone, we can have the numbers and tick marks on there, which would be much more helpful. So is the one bearing 0 going to go to 300s, or is it going to go more toward the south? Okay, it's going south. So the one that's in front of me is continuing in this direction, and then we got one at 70. I think I might check the one at 70 and see if it's coming north. This one, the one that's out here is going south. The other thing I might do is, you know what, let's do this.
Dead slow ahead.
Let's just check the hydrophone and see which one sounds closer. Got one at 3. the one at 71 is a lot closer. I couldn't even hear anything at 3. So I think we might go for the one at 71. So there's one down this way. Seven one. See if we can figure out where he's going.
Change course.
Just gonna turn into him and then see how the bearing progresses.
Torpedo in tube 3
So
maintained.
it looks like we're straight. Bearing 358. So he's about here. Three 357, 356. So moving in this direction.
Set a course to these coordinates.
I don't find I really need to use like a forebearing method too much. Once you've got them within hydro range, they're within 100 kilometers, and then you're just kind of going directionally toward your target. When you're close enough to get a visual on them, then you can do like the real U-boat captains did and just kind of do a, set up yourself on a course where you're on a vector intercept. And, their position is basically just static, constant bearing, and then as you get closer, you can get a good read on their angle on bow. So that's usually the method that I follow if I don't try to use any of the cheats. Propeller bearing 3. Could just check again real quick. I get a faint reading on the medium. I can barely hear them on the high frequency, so if there's any chance of seeing him at this point, it would be maybe distant smoke on the horizon. But I doubt we'd even be able to see him at this point.
Periscope depth.
Calm seas, though. Let's just figure out where he's, what his general direction is. And put us on what we might think is a decent, a reasonable intercept. We can eyeball it. Sometimes this thing, I don't know what triggers it where it won't draw. I don't have the torpedo menu up and still can't draw, but if I come over here and draw and then come back, somehow that fixes it. So we got one bearing 3.
Change course.
Just watch out. 305. I'm watching the 305, 306, 307. Or I'm sorry, the 356 is the one I'm watching. 355. Let's see if we can spot him now. And we're gonna need red
Night
light.
lights.
Yeah, I thought it was night and it was just the scope was underwater. Guess we don't need them.
Regular lights.
Three, 5, I'm still not really seeing anything out there.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Might surface the boat
Blow the tanks.
and just
Current
charge
depth,
in that
10
direction for a little
meters.
bit.
Full ahead. Switch to diesel engines.
Captain, we've risen to the surface. Torpedo and tube 1 maintained.
I've got clear sight for a pretty good radius, so I should be able
Torpedo and tube 5 maintained.
to spot him. Maybe
Torpedo and tube 2 maintained.
maybe shift and get some help out there to look
Target
around.
position reached.
Nothing.
Periscope depth.
Captain, we're at periscope depth, ready for surface observations.
Switch to electric motors.
357. Same bearing. They must have been heading south also.
Flank ahead. Set a course to these coordinates. Blow the tanks.
5 meters.
Switch to diesel engines.
Captain, we've risen to the surface.
Can try for maybe another 20 kilometers or so.
Funnel smoke. Bearing 0 degrees.
Torpedo and tube 4 maintained.
Well, it'll be an overhaul, that's for sure.
Report sent.
355. I think at this point I might go to see how things look from up above. This is kind of where I was getting at in terms of tracking it more like a real U-boat commander, which is they'd see the smoke, they make a determination about its direction based on what they observe. Now this one you can tell, you kind of get a feel here that the ship is moving from right to left. Excel time for a little bit.
On 2-5, maintain.
Just see if that holds true. Is that 2 or just 1?
Torpedo in 2-2, maintained.
Course 166.
I can see the top. Yeah, it looks like it's steaming directly away though. No escort, we might just run up on it and try to scare it into stopping.
Set a course to these coordinates. Merchant ship, 0 degrees.
Torpedo in 2-3, maintained.
Alarm, take your positions.
It's go time, boys. Let's sink some ships.
Well, they've called alarm, so it must be British.
Captain, the enemy ships have sounded their alarms.
We know the drill. Let's turn the tables on these hookers, shall we?
Empire a run. That's a tower. We could maybe do a 90-degree attack on it. It's turning a little bit.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Probably doing no better than 6 or 7 knots. It's going to be facing this direction when I'm up on its right. We'll assume it's doing 7, but we'll knock off 1 knot for the zigzag. Get within 500-ish meters probably. And of course this scope is irritating to use, but could call for abandoned ship, but
Dead slow ahead.
more fun to shoot torpedoes at it. And it's in kind of a sitting duck position right there, so could do a 90. It'll throw the torpedo out in front and then do a gyro turn, and should get pretty close to a should give me pretty close to a 90-degree impact, I would think.
Flood tube 2.
Flooded.
It's easier to use the, might as well E-lock it. It's a tower. It's just convenient to have these inputs here instead of fiddling with that TDC. Angle on bow, I'm going to say is more like 110. I'm not going to shoot yet, but when it is at 110, it's no more than 300 meters.
Update. Target speed 7 knots. Faster! Faster!
6 knots.
Update. Target speed, 6 knots. Dead slow ahead. Update. Angle on bow, 9, 8. Bow right. Update. Distance, 3, 0, 0 meters.
That seems about right. Can launch one.
Fire. 40 seconds to impact. 30 seconds. 20 seconds.
Must have been a T2. Where'd he go?
10 seconds to impact. It's a miss.
Oh, that one is a miss. He's going faster than I thought. That's okay, we got more.
Faster. Faster.
We'll correct for that. Let's see. Go back. I don't know why this thing keeps changing my view. So probably more like 7 knots.
Update. Target speed, 7 knots. Half ahead. Slow ahead.
I suppose we could gauge his speed. I don't really want to waste more torpedoes. I'd like for this one to be a hit, so we'll be a little bit more deliberate.
Flood tube 3.
He might have changed course, or maybe I changed course. We'll turn into
Rudder,
him.
15 degrees. Port.
I think I've turned enough.
Rudder amidships.
Might not trust so much gyro angle. I think he was maybe a little bit further than 300 away from me, and parallax probably creeped into my calc a little bit.
Update. Distance to target, 5, 0, 0 meters.
Might have made sense in terms of why we missed him to the back.
Torpedo in 2-2 maintained.
Rudder, 15 degrees. Port.
I'm gonna turn into him this time so we don't have so much of a gyro turn.
Faster! Faster! Flank ahead. Rudder amidships. Rudder, 10 degrees. Port. Half ahead. Faster!
Torpedo 25, maintain.
Faster! Faster! Rudder amidships! Update. Angle on bow, 8-6, right.
I think everything else we've got is right. We're a little further away. On this heading, I should be converging on him, so can let some of this distance bleed off and get closer to maybe a 700 to 500 meter shot.
Update. Distance to target, 700 meters.
I think he is still zigzagging a bit.
Rudder, 10 degrees. Port. Rudder amidships. Half ahead.
Let's see what this position looks like. Still like to turn into him to shoot.
Help. Turn, 15 degrees. Port.
Let's see if we can turn in a little bit more aggressively. They're gonna go get away from the E-lock here. That looks pretty good. 97, 700, maybe to 500. Are we still turning?
Rudder amidships. Fire. 40 seconds to impact. Seconds.
Maybe a better chance this time.
20 seconds. Seconds to impact. Serious damage. Dead slow ahead. Change course. cancel. Slow ahead. They are sinking.
Yes! Hooray! We've struck another blow against the enemy. Excellent work, Captain Crew.
Dead slow ahead.
Report sent.
Tube 3 loaded.
Oops. I hate that I can't do this invite and give supplies in the same action. Way too clicky. All right.
Half ahead. Rudder amidships.
See if we can find another one.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Now maybe we're not so picky about radio contacts. We managed to run one down with a hydrophone.
Full ahead. Slow ahead.
Captain, we're at periscope depth, ready for surface observations. We've been notified by a nearby U-boat of a probable target area.
Captain, we've risen to the surface.
AN 496, speed 8, course 179.
Torpedo in tube 4 maintained.
Well, that's a lot of good information. AN 496. Let's jot that down. So it's AN 496 and 8 knots and 179. So it's heading south. AN 496. Oh, it's way down here. Head to 179. Oh, we got another overhaul to
Set a course
do.
to these coordinates. Flank ahead.
This is going to call for a little bit of dead reckoning to make sure that we're somewhat in the same realm. I know he's moving at 8 knots. So after 3 turns, he'll be at a distance of 24, 8 times 3. We can move at 18, so at the end of 3 turns we should be at 54.
Torpedo in tube 1 maintained.
About there. Another 24. $54. I could probably almost go 180 would be 10 turns ahead. And if he's doing 80, for 8 knots. Might be worth a hydrophone check at that point to see if he's down in that direction.
Change course.
Because he might turn and start heading this way.
At last, a few hours break.
Captain, we've reached our target.
Periscope depth. Set a course to these coordinates.
Captain,
Oh, do we
we're
get
at
a sea
periscope
wolf?
depth,
Look at that.
ready for surface observations.
Wolfgang Miller.
Switch to electric motors.
Wolfgang, I think that was my recent crew edition. What should we do here? A diving boost. Each sailor system slows down discipline loss. Who cares about that? Diving, I guess, huh? Wolfgang.
Torpedo in tube 4 maintained.
And we do have a ship propeller at 299. So let's see how. $299 out this way.
Change course.
Can watch that a little bit, I guess. Turn straight into him.
Change course.
Just make sure he's heading south.
Torpedo in tube 1 maintained.
.359.
Torpedo in tube 2 maintained.
It's interesting. It's heading north, so it's not the same contact. But I did pick one up at 76, which is over here, which probably is our contact. So now it's a matter of which one do I want. I guess we'll go to the hydrophone and see which one's closer again.
Slow ahead.
So we got one at 76. That's the one I'm chasing. It seems pretty far away. And then one at 357, which definitely sounds closer. Closer, but a fair distance off, but at least it's probably heading toward me. So I guess we'll go for the maybe we'll stay on this one.
Set a course to these coordinates.
We could probably mark our hydrophone range just to give us an idea in terms of, you know, they've got a be within this range somewhere. I mean, that's 120 kilometers. I'm getting them at long range. They're probably somewhere out in this vicinity.
Flank ahead.
We can stay submerged and see if we can get ourselves on an intercept course here. Let's clean up the map a little bit.
Torpedo in tube 4 maintained.
So 357,
Torpedo in
356,
tube 1 maintained.
355, 354. So going this way means we can
Change course.
try turning into them a little bit.
Torpedo in tube 2 maintained.
Bearing 2.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Propeller at 5 now. 4.
Torpedo in tube 5 maintained.
It's got a pretty fast bearing change, which is strange because it almost makes you think that it's closer.
Change course.
See if it holds here at
Torpedo
6.
in tube 3 maintained.
Well, that might explain why. That's pretty loud at medium and very loud at short, so we are probably very close. We're probably very close, and they may even be slightly past us already. Let's check.
Man the attack periscope.
Check and see what we can see. I'm sure the 358 ship is visible and probably close, and probably past us a little bit. .358 should be about here.
Alarm. Take your position. Stay calm and focused, everyone. We'll get through this.
Still a bit over the horizon. So I think we'll take
Course 5-2.
let's see if we can change course. We're doing 9 or 10 knots. Submerged, and that keeps them in somewhat of a constant bearing. Still gaining.
Course 3-5.
This illuminated green stuff doesn't show up very well. I'm not crazy about it. I don't like that it's so hard to read my numbers here.
Night lights.
Should be in good shape with torpedoes though, right? Yeah, they're all warmed up. Alright, let's see if we can see if this course keeps them in my periscope between these parallel or between these vertical lines. Yeah. See how he's kind of staying in that constant spot? Maybe creeping up a hair. We're on close to a good course, and that's a tower. And we can just approach him. We can just approach him on this angle and stay submerged. And I'm guessing, since I'm still seeing curvature of the Earth, he's probably out there 6,000 to 8,000 meters. There's no point in doing a check yet if I can't see the water line of the ship. That's my 1.5, so we'll just see if we can keep him in that spot. You guys see how he's drifting to the right? We can afford to turn into him a little bit.
Course 3-2.
Oh, there we go. That seems pretty perfect.
Torpedo in tube 4 maintained.
My 1.5 scope, when that ship fills this
Torpedo in tube 1
distance
maintained.
between this line and this line, means that ship is about 3,000 meters away. Did it turn?
Torpedo in tube 2 maintained.
Merchant ship, 40 degrees.
What's our heading like? I'm trying to gauge if I saw a little bit of a turn there. Its tower. It's got those two things on the back, but it looks more like a bell with the way the back of it is, huh? Let's just take a look at the bell. Nah, superstructure doesn't look like a bell, even though that part of its deck is similar. It looks like the superstructure is more like the tower. Don't know on the speed yet. 7's always a good starting point. Looks like he's turned away from me. But that distance right now, probably 6,000 or more. There's no point in even checking. Again, I can't really see the water line of the ship yet. Maybe it's about there. Yeah. Figured it was probably 8,000 meters away. Well, let's see if we keep gaining on it.
Torpedo in tube 5 maintained.
That's 1.5. He adjusted his course a little bit, but it looks like...
Tube 3 maintained.
I don't know if it looks like I'm gaining on him much. Can maybe turn in a little bit. It seems like we're...
Course 4-2.
Yeah, he's making a little bit of headway there.
Course 3-5.
I don't know, are we both going 10 knots? It's getting closer, but it's taking a long time. Right there. That ship's inside of 3,000 meters. Because it's half of the 1.5. Let's just make sure. Yeah, that's the 1.5. So maybe 2,500 at this point. About right there. Closer than I thought. 17. I don't know if I believe that.
Torpedo in tube 4 maintained.
Definitely about a 120 angle on bow, though. Interesting shot. Do I stop for speed? Such a calm day.
All engines stop.
Torpedo in tube 1 maintained.
Doesn't appear to be moving that fast, but that angle, it's that angle that's skewing it, because I'm looking at it like a 130. Makes it look slower than it is. I'm thinking that's probably still doing 7 knots. Yeah, it's got it at 6. It was going a little slow.
Full ahead. Flank ahead.
Do I believe 6? fire toward the front of the ship.
Attack parameters update. Target speed 6 knots.
It's moving right to left in our scope, but we're behind it, and it's probably more like 100. Yeah, that's probably more like 130. Kind of shooting from its hind quarter.
Attack parameters update. Angle 131 left.
This distance.
Attack parameters update. Distance 1500 meters.
Flood tube 1.
I'll try one. This is a bit of a risky shot.
Tube 1 flooded.
I'm going to favor the front half of the ship because I don't know if it's actually doing 6 or 7 knots, but we'll put it on the front. Whoops. Wait for our gyro to catch up with us. Hopefully the thing detonates when it gets there.
Torpedo in tube 2 maintained.
Fire.
Interesting angle. I don't usually attack from the stern quarter like this. Be lucky if I don't get a dud. That is a pretty sharp angle.
Torpedo was done.
Yeah. No surprise there. Alright. And of course now we've got them alarmed, so they're going to go into... they're going to be turning zigzags, which they already started, but that won't help them because it'll just slow them down. But 6 knots wasn't a bad... wasn't a bad speed estimate. Oops. How do we adjust this attack? We are definitely close.
Rudder 25 degrees. Port.
You guys didn't just stop, did you? That's my beam, 90 degrees.
Captain, the enemy ships have sounded their alarms.
Rudder amidships. We know the drill. Let's turn the tables on these hunters, shall we?
I think I'm gonna unlock that.
Tube 1 loaded.
Could maybe take a stern shot.
Flood tube 5.
Tube 5 flooded.
We're definitely close. Six knots, not bad. Let's just make sure we've got stern attack, stern. It's behind my beam. It's still a pretty heavy gyro because of the movement, but I might try it. Since it's turning, I might favor the back half. Well, I don't know.
Torpedo and 2-1 maintain.
Just go straight in the middle of the ship.
Fire!
40 seconds to impact.
Stern shot. Let's see how this...
Seconds.
Must be a T2. I thought I put T1s.
Fire on board. Serious damage.
We could just barely nicked him there in the back. Wasn't the best shot.
Course 117. Alarm
Another
can.
successful patrol.
Good work.
Great work, crew. They're sinking. That merchant ship never knew what hit it. Victory for us.
Alright, let's pick up the survivors and we can call this mission done. Is it resting on the bottom now?
Blow the tanks.
Current depth 5 meters.
Of
Join
course,
the watch
Captain.
Crew. Switch to diesel engines.
Yeah, we'll just give them supplies. Whoops. We can bring all them on board. And supplies for the other one. Where's the other one?
Report set.
All right. Might switch over to the 7C after this patrol. I was experimenting a little bit with the 7B, taking off the deck gun. It mentions that if you take the deck gun off, you can go faster underwater, but I really didn't see any increase at all. I don't know if that's a bug with the 7B or if you just don't go any faster without the deck gun. So I was a little disappointed. I was hoping I could, with this sub, I was hoping I could get up to maybe 11 knots if I didn't have that deck gun on. But I didn't really see any difference. Alright, anybody level up? Nope. Let's unload these survivors. And we'll resupply and pick up the next mission. But I think we'll call it a good spot to end on this one. Thanks for watching, everybody.